Hello, YouTube. Um, hello, YouTube. So a few days ago, I did my review for Batman Year One, the graphic novel. So I got the idea, hey, why not review Batman Year One, the animated movie? Now, this movie obviously is part of the DC animated movie line, franchise, whatever you want to call it. Um, this movie is pretty much a this movie is pretty much a comic book fan's dream come true right here um, because it is literally just like the graphic novel. It is literally like in every way, shape, and form. They pretty much translated um, the entire comic book word for word from the book to the screen. Um, and that pretty much goes, for like the panels and literally everything, from like the dialogue to the art style, um, to the panels to pretty much everything. It's literally as faithful of an adaptation as Warner Brothers Animation could get it. Like Bruce Timm even said, even said early on, he goes, I'm such a huge fan, of the comic that I just wanted to do, as faithful of an adaptation as possible. Um, that's really what they did. I mean, literally everything about it is, literally everything about it is, it's so in line with the graphic novel. It's so in line with the graphic novel, and much like the graphic novel, the movie is told, through Gordon's point of view. Obviously, Gordon and Batman are pretty much, the two main characters. Um, the animation, it's really, really impressive how they did the animation with this movie because David Mazzucchelli's style, like his art for Batman Year One, um, his art for Batman Year One. Um, Mazzucchelli's art style is he has simple, strong lines, and and with animation they need to keep the lines, a level. They need to keep the lines the level of a certain thickness, but they definitely kept it very, very close to to the same in terms of, like his style and his the way, like his art looks and stuff like that. Um, they even did a phenomenal job mimicking, the comics color palette. Um, I don't think I mentioned this in my Batman Year One review, but um, the comic has a really, really unique color palette. It's almost like ugly. Um, it's almost, like ugly colors. Like it's got that. Um, the movie, much like the graphic novel, has that has that brutal, like noirish, realistic, feel to it, and that's one of the things that this movie just, really, really nails is that tone and that, and that style um and stuff like that. And I so whether you whether you read the comic or you watch the animated movie, um yeah, it's literally like, you can't get, any more, you can't get any more literal with it. It's literally like dead on. I just, I really, really wish that, I really, really wish that a lot more, comic book movies were able to do this, because this movie is, like I said before, it's such a faithful adaptation, um, of the graphic novel, and, um, of the graphic novel, like, like you feel like, like when you're watching this movie, like I would, like I remember watching it, after having read Batman Year One, like I literally felt like I was reading, um, the I literally felt like I was watching, or I was reading, the graphic novel on screen. Like it's such a faithful, um, it's such a faithful adaptation, and Warner Brothers could not, Warner Brothers Animation could not have done, a better job with it. The voice acting is great. Bryan Cranston plays, or voices, young Jim Gordon. He is just absolutely perfect for it. Um, he does, an incredible job, making Gordon, making Gordon, like sound convincing, um, and I really feel like, Cranston's voice, Gordon in the, I talked about this in my year one review for the graphic novel, but Gordon is, obviously, he's obviously, much younger, than how we're used to seeing him. Um, and I feel like, so the way that Gordon is drawn, in this movie, because he's younger, I really feel like, Bryan Cranston's voice, um, for this role just really, really nails, um, I just feel like, he really, really captures, the essence of, of how Gordon is supposed to be, portrayed in, in this story. Um, Ben McKenzie as Batman. Ben McKenzie is, Batman slash Bruce Wayne in this movie. He also does a good job. He does a great job with, portraying, obviously, a much younger Batman. Obviously, he's just starting out. Um, he's just starting out. He's just, like figuring stuff out. He's just, figuring out, basically, like how to be Batman. He's just starting out. All the fan favorite, um, all the fan favorite, moments from the comic are in here, are in the movie. Um, literally everything from, from the bat crashing in through, Batman's window, telling him to become Batman, um, to Batman's, or, to Bruce Wayne's fight, in the street, with, Selena Kyle from, um, from, you know, from, Gordon, obviously, arriving in Gotham for the first time, um, Batman, um, to Batman crashing, kind of like the party that, Carmine Falcone is having, um, at his place, saying, where he says to them, from this moment on, none of you are safe. It's just, it's literally like, it's literally everything that you could hope for in, in a, it's literally everything that it's literally everything that you can, it's just, the movie is just literally everything that you could ever dream of, for a comic book movie. Um, I mean, granted, it's animated, um, but still, I mean, whether it's animated or it's live action, it's still very, very impressive. Um, the fact that they were able, to pull this off and um, and to bring this story to life in a way, that fans would obviously, immediately recognize and love. And, um, and even, whether you're a longtime Batman fan or you're a longtime, DC animation fan or whatever, or, um, it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't really matter whether you read the graphic novel first, you watch the animated movie first, or whatever, because it's such, because overall it's very much the same story. It's very much, the same story. Basically, the 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 results are the same, is basically what I'm trying to say. Um, you know, like you know, remember when I said in my Superman Doomsday review that a lot of the fan favorite moments from the Death of Superman, um, comic, were left out, from that movie. That this movie this movie, you don't have to worry about that. This movie literally includes, like all the fan favorite moments, from the graphic novel in there. Um, as well as a lot of the fan favorite, quotes, from the graphic novel. Um, and it's just, I mean, it's literally everything, that a diehard fan could ever want. And if you guys haven't, if you guys have read, Batman Year One, but haven't seen, but haven't seen this, seriously, guys, you need to go watch this, because I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Um, you will not be disappointed. I this is literally, a dream come true for fans. Um, so I Anyway, so let me know, if you've seen it, what you thought of it. Like, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.